Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, holy Moses, we are almost to the middle of April already. I don't know. There's only one good thing about it being in the middle of April, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. But before I jump into everything, let me first say thank you so much for coming by, for checking out my channel and watching this video. I do appreciate it. And as always, if you would, drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. Give this a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And let me also take a moment to say thank you to everybody who left comments on that last video, the one where I was saying how much I was struggling. I greatly appreciate every single one of them. There were a lot of great comments on there. So thank you. Thank you so much for not only your heartfelt comments, but your great suggestions as well. I can see some things I need to change, and thanks to you guys, I'll be able to move forward. I know that for sure. So thank you very much. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, there's only one good thing about it being the middle of the month of April already, and that is, yeah, you guessed it, tax season is officially over. By the time this video goes up, it'll almost be tax deadline. If you haven't got your payment in and you're watching this on Tuesday, April 15th, you better get it in. You know how that is. At least get it in the post office. Yeah, we owed a little bit this year, so I just let them subtract it straight out of my account. I ain't going to the post office. I ain't mailing anything in. Good golly, I don't even know if I've got checks anymore. I couldn't tell you the last time I wrote a check, right? So, yeah, we just went ahead and let them pull out that little bit. They need it more than I do, evidently. So I sent it in already, and I am thankful to be done with not only my own, but all my clients for yet another year. That, as you've been hearing about, is going to take a load off my mind. And just sitting here already, knowing that I'm completely done with all of my tax returns for every single one of my clients, I'm already feeling better. That's for sure. I could tell it is a big difference. And somebody asked, why do you do it? Why do I put myself through it every year? One reason, the money. I do like helping other people too, because I do charge a whole heck of a lot less than what somebody would pay if they went to like an H&R Block or a Jackson Hewitt or something along those lines. But it does get to be a little bit stressing this year. I think it's perfect storm, right? Just so many things going on all at once that it just added up, and it was just a little bit overwhelming almost. But I made it through. Tax season is over, one thing down, so that is fantastic. So with that down, that means that I've got a couple other things coming up here pretty soon. You know, we got that 5K coming up on April 26th. So we needed to get out and do a little bit of walking to try to get ready for that. I haven't done hardly anything. Last month in the past, I did a lot. I was spending time up on my treadmill. I was going for walks down by the lake. I was getting ready for it, and I felt it. I could feel it. I just knew I would be ready in time for it. But that was March, and this is now April, and I hurt my ankle. Okay, let's back up a little bit. It's a weird thing, right? So my feet have been bad most of my life, and I'm sure, even though the doctor says it doesn't have as much to do with my weight as it just does like genetics and just being dealt the wrong cards, I suppose, I know that there's got to be at least something there with it. And so my one foot, you know, I've got the brace on my right foot that I've had for years. That's because I got a drop foot because I slipped on ice and it messed up the discs in my lower back, and it herniated a couple of them that hit the nerves that messed up that foot. So I've been dealing with that since, 1998? So just a few years now. And then on the left foot, so I don't like going to doctors. Doctors always find things wrong. So I went in just to say, hey, you know, this foot's kind of feeling a little weird. And that's when, what's it been, 3 years ago now? Almost 3 years ago now. They said that my arch was obliterated and that it's all messed up. So I got to wear a brace on that foot. So that one is the one that's been very interesting to me lately, because as I've lost weight, that shoe has gotten so loose, even though with the brace right now, I'm on completely different braces since I started losing the weight, right? We had to go in, get them adjusted some, and then they had to completely make new ones. When was that? Last July, right? Early July, late June, early July. I think I picked them up like mid to late July is when I actually picked them up officially. And they are the shorter ones. If you remember that, I had those tall ones that went almost to the knee. These now are quite a bit shorter, much easier to put on and take off, so that is fantastic. But these are getting almost to the point of too loose as well. And one of the things that's really interested me is how my foot, I didn't at least, you just don't seem to think about losing weight in your feet. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if you start retaining fluid, I typically swell in my feet and my legs first and everything, so I guess. But it just wasn't something I thought about for the long haul once that fluid was gone. But sure enough, and with that left foot, you can see, if you got the foot, the ankle bone right here, right? It jets out quite a ways further now. And so that rubs against the brace, and it's been causing a lot of problems, and it just hurts at times. I mean, there are times where just taking a step, just walking around the house is just excruciating. I mean, really bad. And there's nothing they can do about it, they said. I'm almost to the point where I'd like them to go all Kathy Bates on me, right? And just take a sledgehammer to it and then have to reconstruct the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point, except I've been putting like gauze pads on it and wrapping it in ace bandages, stuff like that, just to try to get through the day. Well, that has kept me from going out walking. And let me show you a couple pictures here, and they don't really do it justice, but you can at least see, like right here, you can see how that ankle bone jets out there. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any clue and you've seen something like this, let me know what you think I should do with it, because I don't know at this point. Like I said, I've been wrapping it, putting ace bandages on it, stuff like that. So let me show you what it looks like when I do that. And now you can see that big old mass right there on that ankle. Then you try to put that into a brace and then into a shoe. Yeah, it's not very comfortable. And so I don't know what to do other than that. And so it's what I've been doing. And so I've also spent the last few weeks just not getting up on the treadmill, last couple weeks or so, I guess, and not doing much of anything other than what I have to. I've gone to Costco and walked around. I've gone to Winco. I've done a couple other little things, but I haven't gone down by the lake, and I haven't done any real walking to get ready for the 5K because I'm afraid that it's just going to make that worse. But I also know that I need to do something to get ready for it. So I did. I texted my bestie Angie and I said, how about we go for a walk this Friday? She said she was in, and so we did. And of course I made a little video here, a little walking with Ken. So I want to show you that now. Well, good morning. It is Friday, April 11th as of the recording of this, and I am headed across town to pick up my bestie. We are going to go for a walk in downtown Oklahoma City. Yeah, we're finally going to go attempt at least one, if not two. The two overpasses that we have to do on the 5K, which is coming up, 2 weeks from tomorrow as of the recording of this video. So wow, just wow. But I'm going to go pick her up, and we're going to head into downtown Oklahoma City. Our starting point was going to be Scissortail Park, and I couldn't help but notice after we got parked here that they are decorating for the playoffs. We love Thunder. Go Oklahoma City Thunder. Hopefully they go deep in the playoffs this year, maybe win the finals. That would be awesome. But here it is. Well, yeah, first off, there is a look at Paycom. That is where the Thunder play. But we were going to start our walk right across the street here. And this didn't show up too well, but they do have the art on the side, the run to remember. The sun was a little bit too bright behind it to see it really good. Here we go, going for a walk today, hoping at least 1.5 miles, maybe a little bit more. This will be part of the 5K that we're doing, except for we'll be on the sidewalk instead of in the street. But you ready?
Ready. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Now, if we could take one of those the entire 5K, I'd be all right, I think. So the truth is, me, my balance, I'd probably have a harder time on one of those. But is it just me, or does that pole over here, these poles look like a cheese grater?
I almost mentioned that earlier, but I didn't know if you wanted it on video.
Straight out of a 90s music video right there. Yes, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, I had no clue of any of this down here. Is that do those shoot water over there? Those look like pool noodle kind of thing sticking up.
This is fast.
Where are you at? There you are.
I'm here.
We've got the first overpass in our sights. We can see it now. This whole area down here by Scissortail Park is really cool. Again, I've never been through here until I made that drive on the other video that I showed you. It is really neat. And walking this brick path, it is flat, level, fantastic. There are no jagged bricks, at least as of now. I haven't got a clue when they built all this, really, but it is pretty cool. There's a couple things, if you heard us mention it before, it looks like there's some like misting tents as well as a little play area there. So when you come around it and you start headed up, you've got this roundabout first. No clue why they put that here. And quite often there's actually a police officer sitting in his parked car just right here by this light pole. When we drove down here, it was there, but as we come walking through, it's not. So that's good, because otherwise he would have been blocking our walking path. So that really seems weird too, that they've got a police officer just sitting there. Maybe that's not a normal thing and I've just happened to see it several times. I don't know. But as we come around the corner and start headed up the overpass, this is when I noticed that they actually had handrails here. So yeah, I'm not about, not using it if I have to. I know that on that day we'll be out in the street, so I won't. But for a training session like this, there was a couple times that I leaned over and grabbed it. Yeah, again, I'm not worried about that at all. Kind of like when I'm on my treadmill and I got to grab the handrail there. That is not a big thing to me. I mean, I really don't care about stuff like that because I am not trying to be Superman. I'm just trying to get stuff done, trying to help better myself. And that's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. So I did a few times as I made my way up there, but most of it was walking without it. And yeah, I'm good with that. So that puts us almost midway through the first overpass, if you can hear me because of the traffic. I can feel it already start the decline here. So I'm going to put this away so I can focus on my steps. All right, so we're off the first overpass, and now this is, I think they just call it the south side of Scissortail Park. If you watched the video where I did the drive-through, I mentioned that I had no idea what this park was because I'd never been down here. So kind of neat. They have more of those cheese graters and those tennis courts and stuff that were blue are back over that way. So we'll go by them a little bit later. Good to know they'll have a restroom in case I have to go. How come it took you 3 hours? Well, I had coffee in the morning.
Probably shouldn't have. So we're making our cut across here. We actually came one shy of what we'll do the day that we're out here for the 5K. Still longer than what I had planned right now, as long as we go the rest of the way. So not too bad, but we're cutting across.
I've probably said it several times now, but I really like this little park. I had never been down here till I made that drive around, and there is quite a bit to see down here, quite a bit of trails to walk. As you can see, we're going to cross-sect one here. They had several benches, other places to sit. I guess it lights up really cool at night as well. It's really a cool place. We cut across at 13th. The one that we'll do on that day, like I mentioned, is a little bit further down. Wasn't too worried about going the whole way because, again, my overall goal was to get 1.5 miles. And today, I knew we were going to get that anyway, so I cut back.
There's just one patch of nice green grass around every tree.
Yeah.
Okay, we're about to start the second incline here.
Right next to Cusack meats. Comment down below, did it look like USAC meats to you guys too? Do you see the C and the S there?
From this side of the street, yes. From the
Yeah,
other,
from the other
no.
one, not so much.
Toughing it out, hanging in there.
Yeah, I got this. For now, got my electrolyte water. See? Funny, if you remember, wasn't long ago I couldn't walk anywhere without a cane. Here I am now walking for distance, no cane, while drinking water and talking. It's amazing. Times have changed. I gotta say, of the entire walk that we did, this part right here was probably the most boring. I mean, just look at it. We just got this path out ahead of us. Of course, we could see downtown Oklahoma City out front there. But I don't know, this part right here was just like it was never ending. I mean, it just kept going and going and going. I know that the day of the actual race, that'll be different because this will probably have people stretching this line. I know they will all over, but for whatever reason, that day, yeah, boring as all get out.
We're right by the Omni there. That's where we started. Way back there. All right. Finish that stretch, no problem.
There's the blue quartz. Oh, they got the Thunder logo on it. Okay, now the blue makes sense. It's Thunder colors.
Nice. All right.
Coachella, a festival for dogs and the people who love them. Tomorrow. Here's that soccer field that I had no idea was here. That has got to be the greenest grass in the entire state, probably, let alone Oklahoma City, but probably the entire state.
I almost felt it, but it looks real.
Yeah, it looks real. Riverside Community Building. All right. As you can see off in the distance, there's our second overpass. We'll catch up when we get there. All right, now I'm gonna test my best friend's best friendedness. You're not gonna bust me if I jump on a scooter from here on out, are you?
Nope.
Okay.
I get one too.
Okay, I'm gonna say wrong answer. It should be now. You can do it without it.
Leave that one though, carry it.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Here we go. See, you get that corner and there is no warm up.
You want me? I can still use my shoulder here too.
I'll just see how it goes here. Flip my hat around. See, we're actually doing it. Yes, I had my hand on this rail. I might that day too, though we'll probably be out in the road. But I also better be focusing more on my breathing then and not talking so much. So this overpass was exactly what I expected from it, and that was for me with my legs, my feet, my ankle, my braces. It was brutal, absolutely brutal. But as you can see, I just kept trudging, did my best not to touch the handrail because, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be in the street more than likely as we make the walk on that day. So just trying to do what I can to trudge right along. And you can see how easy it was for Angie as she just caught up to me and passed me right by.
Halfway there. Much bigger incline than the other. Almost there though. That's the other overpass. Made it to the peak of overpass number 2. Woohoo! There we are. A little steeper downhill on this one. The Omni over there off in the distance.
Paycom Center, go Thunder. Careful with this stuff right here. Alright. Even out there, look at how it goes. And it drops.
Yeah, that's a steep incline right there. Yeah, definitely try to be over this way, or that way more, for that.
Here, if we can. Keep that out of everybody's way. And if needed, I ain't ashamed to grab a rail if I have to. I ain't trying to set no land speed records. I'm just trying to prove to myself I can do something like this.
Yep.
So whatever it takes.
Well, look what you just accomplished so far.
So far. I've made comments many times about level ground. I'm good.
Sorry, I might be looking at the ground for a minute. I'm not a very good camera person.
It's a trial run for her too.
I just realized I was just
It's alright.
filming the ground.
Nice for your feet. That's a classic, you know,
There we go.
vlogging style, showing our feet. See, we're actually
Our shadow.
Well, right there, right where you can feel it starting to drop there.
Yep.
This is going to be tricky around this corner. Okay, so this is 5th. On the day of the race, we will take a left here. So if you remember the video, this is where I turn down. 2 or 3 blocks up is where we take the right onto Lee. So today, we're just going to go straight. Come back around. We're not trying to do the real deal. We're just trying to
Get a good pace.
get our legs stretched out and get some practice with this shit. Because I don't know, probably won't be able to walk next week. At least not out and about. Hold hand. Walk sign as well.
Oh well, nobody's here.
But it was green, so nobody's here. Alright, so we'll catch up once we get up there to Oklahoma City Boulevard. That is that next light.
See you then.
We'll just go down this way.
Oh, we're back already.
Already? I'm over here ready to die. What are you talking about already?
There's the Omni.
The worst part about this right now is we got that sun right in our face.
Yeah.
This last stretch right here was brutal with that sun right out in front of us, honestly. And of course, we didn't do too good a job with the camera because we were paying attention to where we were going, and we really couldn't see the screen that much anyways because of that sun right in our face. Luckily, on the day of the race, that sun won't be that high in the sky, and maybe we'll have a few clouds.
Oh hey, are those your new Hokas? And my Hokas?
Twinsies. Except for mine. Mine are big enough they could damn near eat yours. There's our first crosswalk we gotta stop at.
Oh no, we don't have to stop.
Damn it, I was hoping for a break.
He said not today, sir.
On race day, the finish line's going to be somewhere right along and through here. I'm not quite sure where exactly, but on this day, we had to go back over by the feather where we started, right? So we just went ahead and made that walk over. And again, it was freaking hot, 70-some degrees on our face and just blazing upon us, as you can see the sun there. And they had even set up more there for Thunder Rally for the postseason. That is awesome. Oh, where'd it go? There it is right there. Can we even see it? So that's after I couldn't get it shut off right away. But the distance is still the same, 1.94, which means that is a record for this fat boy. How about that? Our pace was just slightly over a half an hour per mile, which means, extrapolate that, that puts us 90 minutes to finish the 5K, which would be freaking amazing for me, I think. Her, on the other hand, she could probably have it done in 20 minutes. Me, whew, boy, I tell you. But let me also add here, that was with doing both of the overpasses. We did both of those things. I don't know if it'll be on here or not, I had to stop almost to the midpoint of the second one. I just, you know, flapping my jaws, and with that sun coming right on me from this side, it was hot, and I kind of lost my breath there for a moment. So, but that is calculated into that time as well. We did not pause the clock, we kept it going. So even with that, we're on pace doing those overpasses. Now, my ankle, on the other hand, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But for now, I think I'm pretty happy. Are you?
Yep. Good walk.
Damn happy. And we're going to sit here underneath the shade of this tree
And this race feels fantastic.
and just enjoy it. And then our legs are going to hurt so bad we got to walk back to the car over there. But either way, another walking with Ken and Angie is done.
Yeah, so as you can see from that, we had a great walk. Now again, I'm not that fast at all, and I know I slow her down, but thank you to Angie again for coming with me on that walk and for doing the 5K with me here in a couple weeks, because Yeah, I mean, it made it a much more enjoyable walk than going out on my own, that's for sure. We were able to just sit there and talk, and well, as I pointed out at one point there, as we were cresting that second overpass, yeah, we did them both. You've heard me talk about how worried I am. You saw it right there. We did them both. But I was cresting that second one between the sun blazing down on us and me just flapping my jaw. Kind of lost my breath there for a moment. So I had to stop. I don't know, it was like 35, 40 seconds maybe that I just stood there, leaned over, just trying to get some deep breaths. Like I mentioned, we did not stop the clock during that time, so the total amount of walk time and everything was all based with that stop as well, which is what I wanted to do because I want to know the reality of it in case something like that happens during the 5K. I'm happy. I mean, I wish I could go a lot faster, obviously, because looking at last year's results of the almost 4,500 people that did the 5K last year, that would put us pretty much dead last. There might be one or two others that would be a little below that, but if we extrapolate that number for the entire length, that puts us right about the last ones to finish. And yeah, you know, it's an ego thing at that point. I keep saying that there's some victories for me. One is just doing it. Well, you could even say one is just signing up for it. One is getting there to the starting line that Saturday morning. Another one would be starting to walk it. And then, of course, the big one is going to be crossing that finish line no matter how long it takes me. I'm now concerned about how long I'm going to have to do it because they had said originally an hour and 50 minutes and then I heard an hour and 30 minutes. So I know we're right at that hour and 30 minute mark, but comes to find out it all is based upon what corral number you're in and which group you're released in to start the 5K. So if we're closer towards the front, we get a little longer. If we're further to the back, we get less time. And if we're in that last group, if I'm literally the last person to cross the start line, I got 90 minutes to get across the finish line. Now, what happens if I don't make it in the 90 minutes? Well, nothing. They just don't have what they call course support. So there'll be nobody there as we come across the line, supposedly. And of course, that means if we're much slower than that, that means they wouldn't have the hydration stations out, stuff like that. Well, I'm not too worried about that because where the two hydration stations are on the 5K route, we should easily pass them in plenty of time. So not too worried at all about that. And so as you can see from this is the screen cap from Map My Walk, the app. I love that thing mainly because it'll calculate all your time for you and everything, but it will also track you GPS where you've been and show you exactly the route you went. So yeah, I love that. And I'm going to do it again for the 5K. So I'll have it too. It's just something to keep, but that is really neat right downtown there. It was a great walk. I don't know what else I could say about it other than I've been dreading doing those overpasses and I really felt like we needed to go do it. And I wasn't sure if we would do one or both of them. And when we crested it and started coming down the backside of it, I knew that then we would just have to go back if that's what we were going to do. And I asked Angie, how you feeling? She's like, I'm good. I said, all right, let's keep going. So we just kept going. At that point, it was just a matter of crossing the park and then winding around like we did and then back over the other overpass. And that one, as you can see, again, for a lot of you, that's probably no big deal. But for somebody like me, that was pretty tough. And I had no idea that she dragged behind me there with the camera. So you could actually see me trudging up that thing, slow as ever. But I was just digging, just trying to go step by step by step by step. As I mentioned in it too, we will probably be out in the road. We don't know how that works, if we have to be, or if I can be off to the side in case there are people coming up from behind us, whatever it is, right? But either way, it's still pretty steep. But the worst part about it is, and we cut it off on the video, is when you come down that second overpass, right? The sidewalk goes sharp and turns, and then you kind of, I don't know, it just, we cut it off because we were going to be more concerned about trying to walk it. And because my feet, I can't bend them like this, right? Because of the braces. I actually had to go slowly sideways and kind of go down it like that. It's kind of a weird thing, but unless you have an issue like I do with my feet, you really don't maybe understand how you have to walk sometimes. And that was quite steep. So I actually had my hand on Angie's shoulder as we walked through there. We both think it would be better if we're out in the middle of the street for that, because while it's still a pretty little drop there, right? It's not as bad as it is there for that sidewalk, and then we'd have to cut back too. So I don't know. I'm glad we went out and walked it. It was one thing to do the drive and be able to see all those things, but to actually go walk it and be able to go, okay, what looks best for us to do it? You know, where should we try to line up at? There are times that we're like, okay, let's be all the way to the right of that lane. Others that, hey, it looks like it might be better if we went like right down the middle of it. A lot of that had to do with how the road is too. If there was cracks in it or if we could see bumps, those kind of things, just to make it better for us. So, yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad Angie came with me. Like I said, it made it a lot more fun, and we're just going to have a blast on the day of the 5K, I know, too. As long as it ain't raining, that's the thing I'm worried about now. They're calling for storms this coming weekend for Easter weekend, possibly the 19th, 20th, 21st. Who knows if it happens that way the next week too. They will not cancel the event unless it's like really bad, that kind of thing. So I don't know what to expect. We'll just have to see how the weather is, and it's Oklahoma weather. They could be calling for storms one night or not calling for them, and then it could be either way the next morning. You just never know, so we'll have to see. So one thing I do want to show you too is what that walk did to my foot. This is kind of a gnarly photo here. So if you're a little queasy and you don't like nasty feet, nasty toes, that kind of thing, I'm giving you fair warning now to turn away, because this is kind of gross, but I can only be me and be real. And then I got a question to ask after it. So if you're ready, I'm going to show this. So again, if you don't like this kind of stuff, turn away right now, right? I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. There it is. Yeah, so apparently I got a blister on my big toe on that left foot. I couldn't feel it at all, but apparently I did, and it popped somewhere on that walk, because when I got home and I went to take my socks off that afternoon, oh wow, I was kind of shocked to see that. So again, I didn't feel it. They are relatively new shoes, those Hokas that I got. I wore them for that last walking with Ken where I was down at the lake, where I did the 1.6 miles. I've worn them like 2, maybe 3 other times going to the store. I know one time we went to Costco, one time we went to Sam's, maybe twice to Costco, but I haven't worn them a lot. Maybe it's just not fully worn in. I don't know, but I do know that that happened and I didn't feel it. But my question to you then is, how do I avoid that? Any runners out there, anybody that does walking a lot, that can tell me a good way to avoid something like that? Should I just put, like some Band-Aids on it just going in just to be safe, or is that going to possibly cause another problem with it rubbing as well? Should I double up my socks? I don't know. So if you've got a good suggestion, please drop it below. I appreciate it. All right, so let's take a look at this week's numbers. As always, got my phone right here with me, and it tells me that my total calories, I averaged 1,356. Yeah, much better week this week when it comes to eating. I forced myself. There was some suggestions on last week's video here that were things that I'd already started doing, so I loved seeing those things, and it's like scheduling times to eat, maybe having more protein shakes. I've upped most days from 1 to 2 protein shakes because it helps me get more in. And so I'll have one first thing in the morning while I'm getting ready for work, and then I'll have one either late afternoon or sometimes evening, just kicking it. So that kind of thing. And so I'll try to get 2 of those in depending upon what I've ate throughout the day. So that's really helped. 1,356, that's definitely better. I would like to, I know when I get back, I've got a couple things coming up. Like I said, I'm going to try to go this coming weekend on the 19th to the 30th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. They're having the memorial celebration down to Memorial. I'm going to go do it, and there's a few other things going on. That next weekend is the 5K. That next week I'm down in Dallas. So once we get back from it, I should be pretty settled for the next month or so before I go to Tulsa in June. So I want to get back on track fully by then, but I know I'm going to have a hard time concentrating on things. But once I get to that point, I know I'll be all right. But I am going to try to recreate this week, next week, at least with what I ate. So the rest of the numbers show that I averaged 136 grams of protein per day. Yeah, check that out. Now again, that had a lot to do with those extra protein shakes, so that worked out great. My fiber was still a little lower than I wanted. A lot of that was I didn't have my beans as often, because if I eat those beans in the afternoon like that, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Those fill me up and I just don't want to have anything else. So I haven't been eating them as regular, but I'll get back to that. I know I will. But again, 33 is not bad. I kind of hope for 35 or above, as I've always said, 35 to 40 or even higher on some days if I can, but I'm not complaining about 33. My sodium came in at 995 milligrams. Yeah, that's a little low. That could be a problem too, but it is not as low as I've used to be, right? But I would still like that to be up somewhere around that 1200 milligram mark, so we'll work on it. And my potassium came in at 7,229 milligrams per day. Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Not going to complain about that at all. Part of that's that extra protein shake too, because it does have potassium in it. And then I've been eating tomatoes. I finally made that pico I've talked about a few times. So I've been getting a lot of tomatoes in. They're pretty good with potassium. Just stuff like that, you know. It's something that I know I need because of dehydration reasons. So I'm working on that, that's for sure. So overall, I'm not too disappointed with the numbers this week. So with that said, what did it do for me on the scale? So yeah, much better week this week of eating. And what did that lead to me on the scale? Well, one pound, just 1 pound. Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed with that, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'd rather be down 1 than up 1 after a week like that, that's for sure. There could be a few things going in play there. I'm not too concerned. I know a lot of it is still stress, and I'm probably holding on to a lot of fluid. I can feel it in my legs, but I don't know. I think, at least I'm trying to tell myself mentally that I'm not gonna really start worrying about it till I can get back on, right on my program, the way that I know what I need to do. Right now, I'm struggling just to get through. So until I can get back to what I know works for me and do just that, then I'm not going to worry about it too much. We all have these times that aren't the greatest. My only problem is spending the money on this medication, and I should be losing weight. I'm not losing weight, but I'm still able to do more, and there's still victories to be had in there. My clothes feel better. In that video of walking there, I had on my 5XL SGA jersey, Thunder, right? So I remember I was telling my wife, I said, you remember when I first got this and it was just so skin tight that I really shouldn't have worn it, right? Well, now it's quite loose. I should probably get another one a size down. And I used to wear what I call my super scrunchie, a tight shirt underneath it, right? I don't know what the material is, but it's a man girdle basically. There's no other way to put it, right? It just kind of sucked in, right? So I used to wear something like that with it. Well, if I do that, that jersey's going to be flapping in the wind now. So that's a victory. There's things like that. I don't have that super scrunchie on here either. I do have like an athletic shirt underneath, right? But this is just, and I think this is a 5X as well. So there are victories to be had if I just look for them. I've been so used to looking for that victory on the scale lately that when it goes up like it has the last few times I've weighed, it's just frustrating. So 1 pound down isn't horrible, but it's not the best either. But hopefully if I can continue to have weeks like I did this week, that my body's finally going to go, okay, I get what you're doing. And then just start releasing everything and get me back onto that track. Again, the next few weeks are going to be kind of hectic and nothing like they've been. Nothing at all. Because matter of fact, I've been trying to find time to relax. I bought me a book. I started reading it. Do I have it with me? Yeah, it's right back here actually. I started reading this one right here about Cyrus Avery. That's him right here. If you don't know who he is known as the father of Route 66. This has been a great book. Of course, it's something about Route 66, right? It's been a really good book that talks about, the formation of the highway system in this country. And then, of course, about Route 66, how it came about. So almost done, not too much longer. But what's been really good about that is I've been finding myself time, even if it's only 10, 15 minutes here and there, to just do nothing. Completely decompress, completely disconnect from anything else and just read. just let go and just sit there. And I've done it a couple times for about a half an hour, and it's been great. It's been nice just going, you know, and I think I need that for my mental well-being a lot. And that is, I think, a big part of weight loss, is being able to balance everything, right? So I've talked about having both of these YouTube channels, really trying to work on building that other one up, Kedogn, as well as keeping this one going. Got that 5K coming up, tax season, hasta la vista, that is gone, thank goodness. Just all sorts of things going on top of normal life, right? Working 40 plus hours a week at my regular job and doing everything else. I've done some yard work, went out and trimmed back a couple of our trees out front, just stuff that you got to get done, and life is just that way. But I am forcing myself to find time to just, you know, so I don't know. I like to read a good book from time to time. I don't do a whole lot of reading, but I think I'm going to get back into that because I think that's really going to help me relax. I like reading stuff about true stories, you know, not like true crime kind of stuff, but like here with Cyrus, right? So this gal here, Susan Croce? Yeah, Susan Croce Kelly's got a couple books about Route 66 stuff. I also want to read Michael Wallace's book. If you don't know who Michael Wallace is, he's a historian, big Route 66 historian, but he was also the voice of the sheriff in the movie Cars. He's got a great book about Route 66 that came out several years ago. I want to read it too. And when I go up to Tulsa in June, he's actually going to be speaking at the Route 66 festival that I'm going to go to. So really, really looking forward to all of those things. And so hoping, like I said, to find time to just chill and just relax, let my brain disconnect, and maybe be able to finally get back on the right side of losing weight and everything. So I don't know. Right now, I'm just going to try not to stress about some things, because I think that's a big part of my problem, is that my stress level is normally here, and it's been about off the chart right up here, you know. So I'm trying to bring it back down, and I think I've been able to do it a little bit, and being able to read and having tax season over has just been fantastic. So hey, as always, I am just rambling, and my camera batteries are telling me that it's ready to just kick it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. Yeah, I'm sure you're saying thank you to my camera battery right now, because I'm just but that's what happens when I can get down here and get a chance to sit and talk to you guys about stuff. I mean, holy cow, if you were here in person, I'd probably talk your ear off. So thank you so much for coming by and watching this video. Again, if you've watched it this far, give me a thumbs up. Share this video with anybody who you think might need to see it. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you would do about that blister on my foot. Those kind of things, right? Let me know if you've got any suggestions. I'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.